We are live.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
I
Yep.
don't see it on your page yet. Let me see.
Let's see. Here we go. I see it.
Oh, it's trying to come up. There it is right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to take this link. I'm just going to hit share.
Yes.
Do I right post or just hit share now?
Just put share now. No, share. If it goes to your page, will it go to your page? I don't know how you do
Just
it.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to copy the link and put it on my other page.
Sounds good.
Hold on. I thought I was.
You got 14 people.
Already?
Already. It's an event, honey.
I'm going to do that from over here. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
Let me share over here, then I'm going to go Instagram Live. Hold up.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey, Nick Newton. In Houston. Yes.
All right, let's see. Copy this.
Hi, Juan. In New York City. Yes, tonight, guys, we're going on Instagram Live for the first time.
If Morris Roberts can get his joint right, y'all know I ain't used to all this technology.
That is okay.
That's what my 14-year-old is for.
Right. Well, it's all me now, so no children over here.
All right. I'm live on both of my pages.
You're live on both of your pages. Okay, I'm live on my page too.
You want me to hit this Instagram?
Yeah. We're gonna go on Instagram.
You do it right now? All right, hold on. Close all. Hold on. How do I do this?
That's okay. Thanks everybody for coming in. 33 people. That's right. Yes. We got the Morris Robinson. I'm
here. What's up?
Okay,
we're going live. Checking connection. You are now live.
Hey, Rob.
I'm here. What up over here? What's good?
Yes.
How y'all doing?
And I'm going to ask to join. Send request.
Will you joining my joint?
Yes, I'm going to ask to join your live, and then you just have to say yes.
I'm going to view it. Go live with Kiki. We in there. It's waiting on you.
Yes. Angela Brown. James. Hey, James. Philly in the house.
Wait, how you see who all on here?
Okay, look at you. I gotta go. You gotta go to your page. Oh, sorry, you guys.
I gotta turn this down.
Yeah, we both have to turn it down. Hello, can you? Let's see. Thanks, guys, for being patient.
Oh dang! I just covered up the lens.
You did.
All right, we got comments already. People coming.
I know. You see it. Yes, James, Nicole. Hey, Cameo, Patrice. Hey, Patrice. Hey, Mete. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Reese.
You know what? I don't know who on here, so it's just I'm just talking.
Can you see from your other Yes, Morris Robinson is bringing the people out.
Is that what I'm doing?
Yes, you are. Simone. Hey, Simone. She said, hey, Morris.
Hey, Simone. What's up? Can I turn my sideways? That ain't going to work, is it? All right.
Oh, the other way. Adam. Hi, Maria. Atlanta. You know Maria. She's a Weston. Oh, Weston Hurt. Hey, Angela.
Oh, Weston Hurt on?
Yes, Weston is on.
Well, tell Weston he's going to stop complaining about my legato lines when I'm doing things. He got me on the He's like, bro, chill it out. Make it more relaxed. I'm like, dude.
What did y'all do together?
We didn't do nothing together. He was critiquing my Facebook, my little post.
See, that's why I don't put anything up there.
I don't care.
Yeah, well, you were fabulous the other night, though.
Well, thank you very much. Whoever can try to come for me, I'm here.
No, it's all right.
See me?
No, you sang well. I mean, we were talking earlier because I was doing a thing for Minnesota Opera and like putting on a gown and my hair and my everything.
Yeah,
And
that's a lot of extra.
the living room was like crazy.
There's a lot of extra.
Yeah, it's surreal. It's surreal. So we're gonna toast it up and cheer. Hey, Larry Brownlee.
You gonna hit it?
Yeah, let's toast it up, baby.
Hold up. I ain't ready yet.
Like, oh,
Y'all can't even get this in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my joint.
you know he's always big timing, right?
I mean, you know, big time player. Okay. You ready?
All right, I'm gonna let you lead the toast.
Oh, I actually have to do a real toast?
Come on, cut it out.
Or what am I supposed to say?
Whatever. Let's get it started.
Okay, a toast to a wonderful show. Congratulations to you for kicking all this off and starting this thing. I wish you many years of success with this thing. We're trying to get you a TV show. We finna do it like that.
We finna do it like that. Salute.
Congratulations. Salute.
Thank you, baby.
You better start interviewing me before I get too many of these in me.
Listen, that's when the interview gets fun. I hope everybody has their drink. Ting, 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 ting. Hey, Larry. All right, Morris. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. So when I met you, you were either leaving the Met program last year or whatever. I can't remember, but it's been quite a number of years since we've known each other. And I remember the first time I heard you, and I was like, what in the actual
hell?
That thing. I mean, just the raw talent, the raw, like, just talk a little bit about like how you got started, because I only know from like reading articles. I don't even think we've ever talked about it.
You want to know how I got started?
Yeah, I want to know like how you got from being a kid, I guess, to like actually being in the Met Young Artist program.
Well, that's a quick jump. No, okay, so I sang in high school, and I went to a high school performing arts. So I did the Mozart Requiem my junior. Well, let me give you, since we got some time, tell y'all part of the story you don't know. So when I went to a high school performing arts, I auditioned for the band. I was a baritone horn player, and my mother was like, "Why you didn't audition for the chorus?" Because I don't sing. So I got there, got to the school. I'm playing the baritone horn. I'm in the marching band. And after the first game, I was like, I want to be up here with all these nerds. I want to go out there where the cool guys are, Right. So I went out where the cool guy. I decided that the only way to stay at this school of the arts was if I joined the chorus, I can quit the band, and then I can go, do the school of the arts, and I can play football. So I auditioned for the chorus and got into the chorus for 2 periods. So then I quit the band and started practicing football, spring football. So I actually sang in the chorus in order to play football.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's how that part started.
Okay.
And then after that, I had my junior year, we did the Mozart Requiem. So I got all the solos for that. My senior year, we did the Haydn's Creation. I got all the bass solos for that. And then people heard me, college recruiters are always around. They heard me singing. Wendell Whalen, his son went to school with us. He actually offered me a full ride to Morehouse. But I think Matilda Dobbs was working with Howard University at the time, and she wanted me to come there and study. But I also had a full ride to Cincinnati, a full ride to Eastman. But I was like, nah, I ain't finna do that. I'm about to go play some ball. So I had like a lot of football scholarship offers, so I decided to go play football. And that was it. Because at the time, being a young African American from Atlanta, Georgia, there really was no, for me, a vision or real future in singing opera or singing classical music. I didn't know anything about opera. So it was just like, what am I going to do? Sing weird in front of people? Where do they do that at? So I went to play football. And while in college, I was the director of the gospel choir. Don't ask me how, but at a military college, musical talent is not so superfluous. So I ended up being like the best musician on campus. So I was able to play the piano for the gospel choir and direct. And that kind of fed my musical side, but I was a football player. That was my thing. So.
Wow. So how does one go from
that to the
Metropolitan Opera? I mean, so many people come into opera by way of not even from music. I mean, for me, I always sang around the house. I played violin in like the 3rd grade, and I was terrible. I danced up until I was about 13. A lot of people don't know that because I have a dancer's body, I have a singer's body, but like but it was always in, the vein of music, classical music in that way, never veering off doing, playing basketball or anything like that. So,
Well, I always loved two things: sports and music, and I had fulfilled that music, that sports drive. I played football. I got to hit people. I didn't get to go to jail for it. I became one of those guys. I did everything I wanted to do in that realm. I didn't make it to the NFL, so that was a big disappointment. But
hmm
the one thing I didn't know was, okay, how am I going to get back into music? Like, this is my thing. And
hmm
it's. I guess you're asking the everyone I think already knows the story about the audition in DC and then going to New England and singing for the weekend program. I wasn't singing professionally at all. I was singing the national anthem at football games,
hmm
and I did this audition at the New England Conservatory. They had a weekend continuing education program, and I sang the national anthem for them. And Sharon Daniels heard me. Oh, I sang the national anthem for them. They put me in a production, a
Oh,
musical production.
okay.
And so I'm working. I got a corporate. I got my company car. I'm selling thermoplastic elastomers in the New England region. I got all 7 New England states under my jurisdiction. I'm managing product. I have a multi-million-dollar territory. But on the weekends, I'm singing Saint Nella in English with some small theater group that was in Salem, Massachusetts. Well, Sharon Daniels had a private student in that production, and she heard me do my first lines, which were, "What daring mortal has defied my name?" And I did it from the back of the house, and
Yeah.
everyone went, "Ooh." And she walked up to me afterwards and was like, "I can change your life if you really want to do this. I think that you can do this. I've never heard a voice like yours before."
hmm
So when you start hearing things like that from Sister Susie on the first row at First Baptist Church, yeah,
Right.
that's cool. But when you hear from someone that says, "I run one of the most prestigious opera programs in the country," you listen. So
hmm
she encouraged me to audition for the Opera Institute. She recommended a private teacher for me. He taught me 5 arias. I had to learn how to sing in. One of them was Vuki Fe. It was Oasis Untos Iris.
Yeah. Mozart, you guys. We have some people on here that are not opera people. People that I grew up with, people that
Okay,
are
bet.
cool. So,
So
yeah.
yeah, I did some Mozart. I learned some Mozart. I learned some. Uh, what did I just say? Vuki Fe. Who wrote that? Gounod.
hmm
And I learned. I think it was "Thus saith the Lord" from Handel's Messiah.
Yes.
And I think you're supposed to have 5 pieces. I had like 3, and they heard me sing, and they were like, "We're going to give you a full scholarship to come study with us."
Mm.
So I I did that. I quit my job and went back and started studying with her. And immediately I got an audition for the chorus of Boston Lyric Opera. And Stephen Lord heard me do the chorus audition and
Yes.
said, "Hey, take this music home and learn it. I want to hear you sing it next week." And it was for the King and Aida. And he cast me as the King and Aida. So it was like bam, 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 bam. And then fast forward, he gave me 3 more roles the following year. Gay Letha Nichols heard me in St. Louis. I did the Met competition. They offered me a slot in the Lindemann program. So
Yes.
it's one of those miracle stories. I'm very blessed. So
Ah, wonderful. Wonderful.
yeah.
Wow. So you said Galita heard you and you went to the Met program.
Yeah, but I mean, like, first of
Right.
all, I didn't know this was gonna be all serious. Like, you asked me real stuff I had to think about. I thought we were just gonna sit here and talk
We
and
got to
tidbits.
listen. We are informative, and we
That's
might
true.
be slightly ratchet, but
You said slightly ratchet. We ain't got ratchet yet. Let me
slightly.
keep drinking on this. We'll get there.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
but no,
Exactly.
real talk. It was. I tell people it was like drinking water out of a fire hydrant. The amount of information you have to take in, process, and regurgitate was incomprehensible. Um, so yeah, for that I'm very blessed. I was able to take it in, process it, and reproduce.
Mhm.
If I were a lyric soprano, I probably wouldn't have had the opportunities I had, but I have a very rare instrument as a bass. And
Right.
I took it to heart. I put my whole life on hold to go for this. I quit a job. I sacrificed everything for it. So I certainly was going to make sure I put all of my effort into it. And that,
Absolutely.
the discipline of going to a military academy, the discipline of being a former athlete, all those things came into play because I wasn't going to screw around and waste time with this. So, yeah.
hmm Absolutely. So when you graduated from the Met program, you went right into your career. You started your career because oftentimes, I mean, you've been probably you can speak to this about the incredible luck you had, from your mentors. And I want to talk a lot about the people who you look up to, people who were inspirations for you,
Mm-hmm.
both artistically and also, I mean, for your voice type and also repertoire. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, so while at Boston Lyric and at BU, I was just doing my thing. I was learning as I flew. When James Levine heard me do the Met audition, he had me do a house audition. I sang for John Fisher first. Sang in Liz Hall. I sang for John Fisher. He called Maestro Levine and said, "Hey, you got to hear this guy." I sang
mhm,
Oasis for Maestro Levine. He says, "Okay, you're in the program." So it's just some of those types of things. So you find yourself physically in places that you don't deserve to be artistically. And
mhm,
that's as real as I can make it. Um, so I had a lot of catching up to do,
mhm,
and I wasn't dumb. I mean, I could hear people do things that I wasn't able to do artistically.
mhm,
Rolling R's, phrasing, understanding this, the undulations of the musical language. Like I didn't know any of that stuff. I had a lot of raw natural instincts, but I had to convert that into world class performances. So the
mhm,
amount of work I put in, and people see me shucking and jiving, talking smack, being really silly. They don't know about the amount of work one has to put in to get to this level. I busted my tail, and I really did. And I'm not, as silly as my Instagram may be and my Facebook post may be, I'm actually a rather intelligent person when I have to be. So I might
yes,
have the hat on backwards and smoking a cigar, but a lot of that's just to show what I really am. But the amount of concentration one has to put into it is really, really high. So yeah, I did that. I got into the Met program. They started giving me things. They started challenging me with things. They started pushing me. Ken
mhm,
Noda was literally personally assigned to me to teach me everything, note by note, by rote. Mark Oswald became my teacher. I was getting 2 voice lessons a week for
mhm,
3 years. And
mhm,
when I got done with the Met program, they continued to supply my lessons for another year, 2 lessons a week for another year. So I was able to not only take the natural gifts that I had, but I was able to take those natural gifts and hone them. So,
mhm.
you know, when I
Right,
started out, I sounded like a good bass and a bad baritone. Now I'm able to take that height all the way up through. You
right.
know, I had people like Kurt Moll spend time with me. I had people like Mati Tavala. I had Robert Lloyd. I had Sam Raimi. I had, Eric Halverson. I had those
Mhm,
guys were working there while I was there. Julian Robbins, James Courtney. While I was doing small roles at the Met and in practice rooms, they'd pop in. I remember Renee Papa popping in my room one day. Like I was working on the Verdi Requiem, that high phrase. He heard me walk in. He says, "Hey, how do you do your high E?" I'm like, "You asking me, bro?" But
right.
in the lower the voices, I find the cooler the people. Like we don't really trip off of, yeah, he might be better than me, so I ain't gonna talk to him. No, it's like, how you do that, dog? So we
Yeah.
exchange information, and or at least they did, and they helped me, and they taught me everything they could, and I took that information and I utilized it. That's the reason why I got people like my little brother Solomon Howard and
Mhm. Yeah.
Alan Michael Jones. Those cats. I'm like, bruh, I try to give them everything I can give them because
Yes.
why not?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know that I always say this, and I was going to save this for later in the conversation, but I always say there's 4 sides to Morris. Like if someone asks me about you,
Or
say there's your jock side that walks into a room like I'm the shit, like I'm gonna tear the whole place up. Excuse my language for some people who.
no, speak your language, girl.
Right. And there's the other side that is the businessman, the person who is now in the artist on the artistic side. You and I've had conversations about that because I've, expressed my interest in that and like, how in the heck did you jump into that? And there's this other side who's the artist, who I've seen elevate, and I've seen your arc from you being a young artist to just a full blown professional singer. I will never forget the Nabucco you did in Philly, the Zachariah, that big scene. And I think I was texting you while you were singing. I was like, WTF? Like the first time that I heard you, and I was like, oh, that's a fully developed artist. So I got to see the art, and also like the teddy bear. Like we've had conversations, we've had personal conversations, and we've had some, you know, um, just getting to know each other on
Yeah,
another level. I just appreciate I've learned to appreciate every side of
well,
you.
thank you.
You
Uh,
know,
I'll
yeah.
say, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, so you've just been always so generous with your, when we talk about coins, we talk about, who to sing. I've asked you, like, I want to sing for this person, that person. I know you have to hook up,
Yeah.
put my name in, and I just I appreciate our friendship and our professional relationship as well.
Well, let me say this, and I appreciate you saying that. I don't know about the four sides, but I'll tell you me in a nutshell. And I haven't thought about this, but I'm drinking some liquor now, so it's about to come out on some real. And all y'all people that are watching, especially the young cats, I'm about to put you on game like you never heard. First off, you say you can call me for the hookup. You want to sing for this person. You want some advice on money, on finances, on coin, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I always try to give because a lot was given to me. And as a black man in this business where we don't have a lot of allies at the higher levels, it is my responsibility, I feel, to help every brother and sister that I feel is working really hard at becoming something and doing the best they can in this business. So I always entertain phone calls. I always entertain text messages. I always entertain requests.
Mhm.
I mean, you have to be somebody that I'm willing to put my name behind, but I will always do that, or even give you advice if you're not somebody, because it is my responsibility. Who much is given, much is required. Okay, that's that part. The other
Absolutely.
part is this is a music business, all right. And for anybody that thinks anything other than that, let it go. It's not even a talent show half the time.
Can you say that again?
It's not even a talent show half the time. It's a business. And when you start understanding on a larger scale, marketing, money, ticket sales, um, the laws of attraction, satisfying the customer base and giving them what they want and what they expect, you will remove your personal feelings from it. And it took me a long time to learn that piece. Other part of it is the business aspect is understanding that you represent a product. And your product isn't just your ability to sing. Your product is also your ability to market, to sell, not just yourself, because selling yourself is already done once you get the job. Your job is now to sell the company, to sell the company line, to get on television and make sure you're saying the right things so that the company feels comfortable putting you on TV. Not to talk greatly about yourself unless your story is what sells. In my case, it was. But realize that this is about a company that is putting on a product that they want to sell to the public.
Mhm.
And everything that you do during that gig while you're there, if you're in the newspaper, you're on Instagram Live, if you're taking over their account, if you're doing interviews on television, you have to remember that I am acting as a sales rep for this company that is paying me to be out front and speak really good things about them so I can encourage people to come buy this product. When you figure that part of the game out, it gets real easy. Figure
Mhm.
out of it, and you have to work really hard to put yourself in the position where you're trusted and capable and allowed to do that. But that's the game.
That's it.
That's the game.
That's the game, and they
I
don't
just
teach that in school because they can't. They
no, they
can't.
teach you in school if you can get your high B flat perfect, you'll get the job.
Yes.
No, you ain't gonna get that job. Not all the time.
Yeah.
That helps. It certainly is a part of it. But
Mhm.
do you have something to say? Are
Mhm.
you someone that attracts a crowd? Can I put you in front of people? How
Mhm.
do you behave at donor parties? Can you
Mhm.
take care of the money? Can I trust Karen to go over there and strike up a conversation with the president of our board and him introduce her to people? And they say, you know what, I really like her. I really like the work you guys are doing here. Oh my gosh, she's from Philly. She has this wonderful voice. She went through all these academies. You guys are putting a great product on stage. Here's $1 million. Do you have that ability? All
Mhm.
of that comes into play. So I think that we have to really think about that when we start getting our feelings about who got what, this, that, and the other. Companies have objectives and they have goals. And sometimes I don't even fit to that. And I have to accept that. Sometimes, keep it 100, if you're going to put on an Aida, well, you probably don't need a Romfus that's going to steal the scenes. So, so you
Yeah.
have to understand that's how it works. No one's buying tickets to come see Romfus when the show is Aida.
Yeah.
So don't get your feelings hurt. Do the best you can when you get an opportunity. So, all right, I'm
Listen,
done with that part.
what they say, ain't no money in your feelings.
Well,
Here's to
right,
that. Here's to
right.
that.
Here's that. Definitely.
Russell, what you drinking on? Because Russell's over here
Oh,
talking.
Russell here? Oh, I
Russell
can't see nothing. My
here.
doggone. I got
Yes,
3 devices, and my iPad keep going out because it's old.
we are all Adam. Yes, Deagle. Deagle's here. Dara Raming. Hey, lady.
Dara, what's good?
Dara said, I
Always
wish
love Dara.
I was starting out. Amen, sister. Tim
Dara,
Reynolds.
my folk.
Katrina. Yes. Kathy. That's okay, Kathy. Kathy Kellogg. Reggie. Brianna Hunter. Fabulous mezzo soprano. Yes.
Are people posting questions and stuff? What's going on?
Yeah, y'all not posting questions yet. They just taking in all of this.
Oh,
Just
I'm dropping it on y'all. Y'all got your notepads out.
that's what we do over here in Kiki Convos. You can save all the other stuff for everybody else.
Right.
You
Get this knowledge.
yes, knowledge, love. Yes. So talk a little bit about your administration. I want to talk about your roles, but I also want to talk about your administration and how because you have a position with Cincinnati Opera
Yep.
as well as
Atlanta Opera.
Atlanta Opera. And how did Tomer and Evans approach you? Did you approach them? Speak to that.
So Evans, I've worked at Cincinnati Opera. Well, I worked at the May Festival first.
Mhm.
So Evans got to know me at the May Festival. And for the very same reasons that we're talking right now that I just mentioned, he saw how I interacted. Well, first he heard I could sing. All right, I'm a pretty decent singer. But also there's other components that one needs to have when you're looking at advising a company artistically, sitting in front of a board and making a presentation. They don't teach you that in school. These are things that you have to learn. And a lot of it doesn't require a business degree. Some of it just requires understanding what the objective is and implementing that into yourself. So Evans actually heard me do the commencement speech at the Citadel. They asked me to come back and do the commencement speech where they gave
Did
me
you
an honorary doctorate, but don't nobody call me Dr. Robinson.
right? Did you speak to that you went to the Citadel?
Oh no, I went. I think I did. Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
1991 graduate of the Citadel. Can y'all see my ring?
Show out, show out.
There's only about I don't know. There's only a few thousand of those graduates in the world, and only
Mm.
about 1.5% of those are African American.
Mm.
And we all, not all of us, but a lot of us play ball, but it is what it is. I got a
Yeah,
free education for going out and bang some heads at the military academy.
yeah.
But he heard my commencement speech, and I think he came to the conclusion that this is the type of guy that has the ability to reach a wide variety of folks. And he's right. I can go to the barbershop and talk to the brothers over there and have them come out to the opera, and I can go sit in the boardroom and close the deal. So I think they took into account those types of situations, those types of aspects of my personality, and said, "Hey, we're going to bring Morris on board to talk to him about this, that, and the other." And it's been great. I've had a chance to sit in rooms and discuss casting. I've had a chance to sit in rooms and discuss budgets and
Mhm.
understand how you program and what programming makes sense with this and why we would do this season, and we should hire this person to do this role, and let's get this person because they complement each other. Let's not do this. Let's do that. I've sat at those tables and made those decisions, or at least been part of the conversation. So, and I never really wanted to do that. I just really wanted to sing. But again, to whom much is given, much is required. So you have to take all the skills that God has blessed you with and say, okay, I'm here, and in order for other brothers and sisters to get this type of opportunity, I'm going to take this thing and put it on my back and I'm going to run with it. So,
Mhm.
the big thing that we're working on right now, and I think is important, is starting a young artist program, but also while we do that, we're going to implement a position of an internship for artistic administration. And that position needs to be filled by a minority.
Yes,
Uh, and
finally,
yeah,
finally.
we trying to recruit the MBAs and them types of joints and say, come over here, learn the opera business so you can go run a company one day. So, I think that's important. I think that
Kids,
that's something we're missing.
are y'all listening? I'm sorry to mean to cut you off. Everybody's not going to be out front. Everybody's not going to be even in the chorus. Like there are other opportunities for you guys to be impactful in the industry and still be a part of the industry creating. We are creatives. We can
I
do multiple things.
I agree 100%. There's a slot for everybody. You can always play to your strengths. Um, I was doing an interview the other week or so, and I don't know that it made the cut. A lot of people cut these lines and says, "I'm on your show. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there." I've been in this business 20 solid years, and one of the things that people ask me, like, "What's the thing that shocks you the most about this business?" Well, other than being on A-level stages and singing with every major symphony orchestra just about on the globe, that's shocking. But the other shocking part is I've never been conducted by a black conductor. I've
Mm,
never been hired by a black uh, artistic administrator. I've
mm,
never been directed by a black director. I don't even have black stagehands that like give me my water when I'm off stage and give me my towel like that. It ain't nowhere to be found. So is that problematic? I think it's not. I don't think it's a very good indication of what the demographic looks like of people that love this art form.
Mhm.
Um, there is clearly not equality in that regard. And, we have black composers now. We got Terrence Blanchard doing his thing. We got my man Damian Sneed dropping his joints. We
Mhm.
got, what's my name that's conducting? That's from Georgia also. Damn, I can't think. Why can't I think? See, you got me on this liquor. I can't
Ah,
think straight. No, the
well,
black Roger Cox. Roger doing his thing.
Audrey, yes,
You
he's
got
conducting.
Kazim doing his thing. Me and Kazim go back to the Young Arts when they met. But
Mhm.
it's not enough of it. There's not enough of it at this level.
And you
Now,
didn't all men. You didn't name one woman.
well, okay, so where they at?
They're there.
Where
They're
they
there.
at?
Well, they're there, but of course, there's this system of like who gets to go
And
first.
I'm not saying that they aren't there. I'm saying that even at the level that I'm mentioning, that
Right.
they haven't even gotten to that point. So
Yeah.
it's like we got a lot of work to do in that regard. In that regard,
Yes.
but then again, it's a business, and we have to also remember that there are people that make decisions based on criteria that isn't necessarily in our best interest. I just gave y'all a word.
Oh,
And because they make decisions that aren't necessarily in our best interest, we aren't going to benefit from that.
mm,
Now, does that mean that African Americans or Asians or Latinos don't patronize the opera world?
mhm.
Well, historically, they may not be such huge patrons. But is that because we don't put enough of them on stage?
Mm,
There are a lot of questions to be asked and answered because people are drawn to that light. People are drawn to that which they find interesting. And I'm always a fan of saying if you put something attractive on stage with a story that can relate to people, people will come see it.
mm,
Um, so I think
yeah,
before we shoot down that argument that a certain demographic doesn't support the art form, well, maybe we should put something on stage that makes them want to come out because black
absolutely.
folks come see black folks,
They
Asian
surely
folks go see Asian folks, Hispanic people go see Hispanic. We support each other, so it doesn't have to just be servicing one demographic. We got to think about that too. So
absolutely. And I also think that a company that does not service the community, does not um, love on the community that is the majority in that particular city misses out on an extraordinary experience to bring people to the theater. Oftentimes, like I said in the interview that I did with Christine, that all development departments are afraid to go into the community. Well, that's your job. You have to service these communities and bring them in and get that dollar. Get that money, get that audience. And San Francisco, they have such a large Asian population, and when Long Long, the pianist, does a recital, they sell out in 15 minutes, 20
you
minutes.
don't. There's no irony that their new music director fits into that category. So
Absolutely.
it's a business. It's a business.
There you go. It's a business.
It's a business.
It is a
So Florida Grand, from what I remember, they've kind of gone towards the majority that is represented in the South Florida area. So,
mhm.
I'm saying it without saying it, but you can look at the names and tell what people, what their nationality, their background is. So it's like, okay, I see that part of it, but more so than reaching out and getting a dollar, it's the right thing to do. I mean, our art is here to service everybody, even if they aren't going to be subscribers. We're supposed to reach and preach it to everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a dollars and cents aspect of it, but there's also a goodwill aspect of it. There's also
Mhm.
a bringing people together and cohesiveness and brotherhood about it. Another thing that we're doing at one of the companies I advise is we're making sure we train our audience to be more accepting of diverse crowds, audiences,
Mhm.
because
You must
it,
train your audience.
it's very difficult for a person to show up at the opera. Most of the time I hear from people I know, like family members, do I have to wear a tux? I got to dress up. I ain't really got no suit. You sure I can go in there with some jeans on? Bro, just come. Trust
Just
me. In the meantime, we need to be telling our audience, look, we're not looking at people down. We're not being persnickety. You could have you could drive your limo, ride in your limo, and wear your fur, and this person can show up with an Izod and some khakis on. You need to be like, I'm so happy to see you here. You know why?
Mhm.
Because their presence is keeping this art form alive. If they're
Yes.
not there, we got an empty seat next to you. Are you going to buy it? No. So we need to be receptive of people from all different backgrounds coming in and patronizing this art. I think that's important.
Exactly. Not that only does it keep us with an income, but it also pushes the art into the world, and it's necessary. We as classical artists deserve a place in the world, and as a whole, Houston said um, earlier, and she said something about how the media repeats that classical music and opera is only for white people, one demographic, and that it's boring. And once you get to meet people who actually are exercising this art form, doing this art form, you're like, oh my god, I didn't know opera was like that.
Opera is like going to the movies with a better soundtrack, and it's live. Like for real, you got you want love triangles, you want murder, you want war, you want blood, you want silly, you want funny. We
Mhm.
got all that. Sometimes you might have to decipher a language or two to do it, but it's edifying and you'll learn to appreciate it. I remember I had some friends that went to see Butterfly, and
Yeah.
one of the sisters was like, Butterfly's long, and I was just singing the bun, so I was on and off in like 3 seconds, but they were like so
Mhm.
enthralled with the whole thing. It was like, ain't no way in the hell I would sit there for 4 years and wait on somebody. It turned into a whole thing, and I was like, y'all ain't like that. And I was like, I know that's right. They just had a whole, and I was just sitting there and watching them have a whole discussion about Madame Butterfly on some real like sister type shit, which is cool. Or
Right.
or I had some friends come, and by the way, they're doing my Zalame from 2008 at the Met. The HD broadcast will be on this weekend.
Mhm.
Metropolitan Opera broadcast. Come check it out. I'm singing the first Nazarene. That little role right there put me on the map.
Come on
So
there.
come check that out. But I had some friends come see Salome, and they were just kind of watching it after the show. The dude was like, "Yo, that's my new term. When somebody act crazy and freak out, I'm gonna say they just went Salome."
Exactly. And then somebody will ask, well, what's that? And then you'll explain to
Right.
them, curious about it. My
Yo,
phone said, turn your volume down on your Instagram.
who me?
Yeah, one
I'm
of us.
trying to. Yeah,
Like,
my joints.
it's all that resonance. Come on now, talent.
Well, I think the feedback. Okay, let me put it over here.
The Instagram. Thanks, Russ. Thanks, Russ. Search title. Yeah.
That should be better because the microphone's over there now. So, but y'all got this side of my face. So,
Well, Patrick McCoy talked about when Janae made her debut in Washington. Yeah, that we showed out, and yeah, absolutely. And I want to speak to Porgy too because I want to talk about your
we can talk about that.
experience with that. I want to talk about how it changed the way you looked at other parts artistically and vocally.
You want to
Um,
go there?
yeah, I want to talk about that, but I also want to say, to people, the Porgy, while it is an incredible piece and it is life changing for a lot of people, it's put a lot of people through college. That is not the only uh, bridge to bring people into the theater of color. Honestly,
Well,
in my experience, I've seen less of us in the theater, and particularly in the larger houses. It's not the way to bring. It's not the only way to diversify.
I'm gonna say this about Porgy. First of all, I never thought I'd sing the role. We can talk about the artistic and me being a part, but let me just fast forward to where you are. It's my theory that the only reason black people go see Porgy is because black people are in it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody really need to see us coming in. Black folks, in my opinion, don't like to see us
Mm-hmm.
speaking broken English, doing drugs, killing each other, going to jail. We see that all the time. Like we don't need to see that, but we're just going because my boy's singing the lead role.
Mm-hmm.
White people like to come see us do that. They
I,
like to see us shucking and jiving. That's their thing, and I think that's it's nothing wrong with it. It's a beautiful piece of art, and the
mm-hmm.
story is incredible. But that's not something that I want to bring my son to and say, "Yo, Dad's gonna be on stage." That's there's so many other options, and I think that you know on a sidebar conversation, we're working on other things as well to try to figure out. Okay, we got Porgy and we love it, and it's been great, and I'm loving singing the role. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, vocally and musically, it's like so beautiful for me. I love doing that, and I love the character, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, where is what Aida should have been? Where we actually are the kings, we actually are the queens, we actually do own the gold, we are the king, we run this shit. We are the high priest.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that in opera? It's like what Black Panther did for the movie theater. We need something like that to do it for the opera world. We don't always have to be dressed down and downtrodden and remembering what it was like in the 20s and the 30s and Jim Crow. And we ain't got to do all that. why we can't. So the literature isn't out there that I'm aware of, but we need to start working on that piece too, because that should not be the only time there's a lot of black people in the opera house, on
Yeah.
stage,
Well,
So
you're in artistic positions for companies. You can create that story and produce it. Either produce it for an artist that you respect, or with yourself.
you're
Go
saying that I should do that?
absolutely. You have two artistic positions. Pick
We
a
all
company.
we already on that. I just don't want to talk about it. I had a meeting about that yesterday. Like
Like
I ain't just talking it. But obviously, look, you can't put too many ideas out there before they're cooked up and done, because other people take them and go.
that's absolutely.
So we don't need all that going on. So right, I'll just put it this way: it is not something that has not been that has gone unnoticed,
Mm-hmm.
and I am in my power trying my best to address it.
Yes,
And I
absolutely.
have the power of two very respected companies behind me trying to
Good.
help me achieve that goal.
Okay, kids. So y'all heard it then. It's coming. It's coming. Yes, Denise, Fire, and Champion. Absolutely. I still I mean, although I created the role in Fire, one of the roles in Fire, I think Champion is a fabulous opera. Everybody saw that's the boxing opera. Listen, Arthur Woodley. That's all you need to know.
Oh, Arthur is dope. That's my dude.
To
He was the first Rothschild I ever heard, and
yeah.
at Boston Lyric Opera, and he was another one of the bassists and the brothers that just took me on his wing, and he still sings down. Yo, dude
Hmm.
is incredible.
He's incredible. He's
And
small role in Porgy at the Met, and I was just like, okay,
and
hello.
meanwhile, low key was like one of the best Porgies on the planet. So
Mm,
he's just
yeah,
over there chilling.
absolutely.
But I ain't gonna. I'm gonna let all that go because we're not talking about
But
that.
talk about how Porgy did it, how pre Porgy roles and post Porgy roles, as they say. Like, I want to know how it changed your music making.
Well, okay, so yes, it changed my music making a lot. First of all, I had to make Porgy fit me, right? I'm I'm a big voice, big dark bass, real bass, not bass baritone. I'm up, I'm that dude. And Porgy a lot of times has been played as the kick puppy, the oh my God, he's so pitiful.
Mhm.
That's not my character. That's not me. And then I started doing research on the role. I was never going to do it, but then La Scala, as you know, called and said, we want you to be our Porgy. So I'm like, damn,
The
okay.
Scala is one of the greatest opera houses in the world in Italy.
It's
No
like,
that
how do
don't.
you tell La Scala, like, how am I going to tell my grandkids? I could have seen La Scala once, but I had to, no, I'm just going to make this work. So I got the score, I bought the score, and then I called about 5 people. I called Kevin Short, I
Mm,
called Gordon Hawkins,
yes.
I called Donnie Ray Albert, I
Yes.
called John DeMay, and
Mm,
I called Eric Owens. To a man, all them jokers was like, bro, you can sing this shit. For real.
mm-hmm.
So then I bought the score. I started looking at it, and they were like, look at the trio first. Try to figure. So the trio's a killer. The trio's a killer. You told me that trio, if you can get through that trio. So I looked at the trio first. I was like, this
Right.
shit ain't hard for me. Like, I've seen E's and F's all day. But it's
Uh-huh.
at the end of the show. When I get tired, my high voice gets better. Okay, that's done. Then I just start looking at the rest of it. I'm listening to people singing. I'm listening to CDs. I'm like, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. I like the way he did that. I bet I could do that. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
That was the vocal capability. Then became the characterization. How am I going to change this thing to make it work for me, but still be true to the story? Well, Porgy is the strongest character in the show. His legs just don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody respects him. They sing about him before he comes out. They talk about him. They always talk about he's too good for this girl. He's this. He's a good man. He's honorable. He's a Christian. So he's a strong, well-respected man in the community. And he's also the most gangster dude in the opera because he's like, you know what? This dude took my girl. He's still messing with her head and he's in her life. The only way I'm going to have her is if I kill him. And he does it. Like he kills the baddest dude in the opera with his hands. So that's
Mm-hmm.
gangster.
That
Okay,
is.
I can fuck with that. So let me just figure out how I can make this shit work for my voice now. So I'm like, okay. And then you start finding moments of give and take. You start finding the emotions. You start using as Dr. Janet Kamado always says, you find your life experiences and you implement that into the role. And I'm like, okay, it started changing everything I thought about music now. Because
Mm-hmm.
now I'm no longer this guy that walks out in parks and barks.
Mm-hmm.
As a young singer, I felt like I just had to impress people with my sound
Mm-hmm.
and they'd hire me. and they did, but they only hired me for roles that impressed them with my sound. As I became and still developing into a more mature artist, people
Mhm.
are now hiring me because he can carry the weight of the show.
Yes.
He's very expressive. He understands when to give and when not to give, how to push and pull. He understands the arc of the line. He understands the flow. So now I'm singing Zaccaria at the Met, like the
Mhm.
biggest Italian role in the operatic repertoire. My black ass singing at the Met. Honey! You know,
Right.
it is what it is. So
When you just did a whole word, you just gave the kids a whole sermon. That if when you get to a point and you have to start shifting gears and changing and reshaping the kind of artist that you are, an artist that giving yourself the license, because oftentimes when you come into this, you're like, well, can I make choices? Like, I talk about all the time, like the first, 3 to 5 years of my career, I really struggled with what I wanted to say versus what people were telling me to say. Sing it like this, do it like this. And I would
correct, correct.
fight, that fight of like, but then you give yourself a license. Like I said, when I heard you do the Zachariah play, I don't even remember how many years ago that was. I was like, oh, he's not just
Well, that was my first one. But you also, Karen, we have to. You say you give yourself the right. You also have to earn that right. And
true.
it's not that they don't give you that right or give you the freedom to do it. In our own mind, we have to say, I've done enough to show off what I'm capable of doing
Mm,
vocally. Now let me show them what I'm capable of doing artistically. Should I pull back off the voice a little bit here? Should I color this darker? Well,
mm,
everybody knows I can sing bright and open. So let me shock them. Let me go. And then you all of a sudden are like, that was really nice, Morris. I love the contract. So I'm like, I don't have to prove it, Cash. My dog is sitting at the window
that's
he's
okay.
about to go in. He's like, he's looking at somebody walking across. He's about to,
That's okay. That's okay. The cats are.
every Zoom meeting, he got something to say. So, but no, so yeah, giving yourself that license comes from development and experience and
Mhm.
just working on your craft and getting better and living and getting life experiences. So that's where I'm at this point. Because if you stay one dimensional, there's always going to be a brother or somebody behind you that can be one dimensional and they're much cheaper.
Mhm.
So why pay my fee to sing something
Absolutely.
loud and stentorian and that's it when they can pay the other guy that's younger than me half the money and get the job done because no one really cares about third tree from the right anyway. So,
Yeah.
it's all about development and growing. And I think I'm at that point where I'm able to express myself and take those liberties. So
Liberty is amazing. That's
yeah.
right, Russell. I did text you. I said, "What in the hell happened to Morris?"
Who's this? What happened?
So Russ, he just said, "You text me that night, Karen." I was like, "Yeah, I did." I was
Oh,
like, "What the hell happened to him?"
oh, you weren't a believer.
I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? No, but it was just
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Somebody asked about your dream roles, and I was going to ask about that too. Like, non-dream roles you have coming up. I want to know when you lay in bed at night and go, that's what I want to sing.
When I lay in bed at night, I don't be thinking about opera.
Well, you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean. You said laying in bed. I'm about thinking about the damn opera.
Right?
I'm laying in bed at night. Shit.
You know what? Well, just
You
take.
got me drinking a liquor now. If you want the real talk, this I'm getting. I ain't thinking about opera when I lay in bed at night. But dream
Okay.
roles, I don't have. I really don't have an appetite for Wagner. I know people think I should. I mean, I sing a few Wagnerian roles, and I think I sing those really well. But I
Mhm.
ain't really trying to just bark all night and just do that. I ain't, I'm good. I love singing the Italian stuff. I love
Mhm.
singing some of the other German stuff. I love Puccini, Mozart, Verdi. I think I have a beautiful legato. So I'm gonna stay with that stuff. So I'm
Mhm.
not at the point where I have roles that I wanted to sing that are major that I either haven't sung something like that or done them. I just want to do them at certain places now,
Well,
right?
I asked Russell. Russell, what should he sing? Because
He gonna say Mephistopheles. That's all he gonna say. He
I
gonna
know
be
you have
dissing.
a list. Boris Godunov. I know you have a list, Russ.
Well,
I'm not.
okay.
I'm not thinking about Morris.
No, no. Well, first of all, Russell has always wanted me to sing
Dutchman,
Mephistopheles.
Dutchman.
Dutchman.
Happy Boris, come on.
He's always wanted me to sing those things. But you know, I was offered Boris. I just sang I sang the Boris Godunov coronation scene. I just did that with the Cincinnati Symphony and James Conlon in the May Festival, and it went really, really well. And I had an artistic administrator walk up to me and say, "If you'll do it, I'll put on a production of Boris for you." And I was like, "Now here's the business part.
Right.
Y'all, let me keep it 100. Let me keep it 100. Let's just say I decide to sing Boris.
Uh-huh.
I got to learn all of this Russian, note by note, syllable by syllable. It's going to take me a year to learn it. I'm
Mhm.
going to pay a Russian coach about $100 an hour for maybe $100, 100 hours worth of coaching just to get it right. I'm that dude. My friends think I'm crazy, but I will over prepare. I will coach something to death. When I did my first Porgy, I never took a score in rehearsal. I know myself and I show up prepared. And that's nothing. Y'all young cats, show up prepared. Know
Sure.
your shit when you walk in a room. That is your job. Know it when you get there, so there's no questions about your professionalism. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm going to invest all this time and energy into learning Boris, and they're going to put on the production for me, and then I'll probably never get to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because Russians grow bases on trees. Like, it's a lot of those guys that don't have the language barrier. They may not have my voice, but they got it. They got the accent. They got the flow. They got all this stuff. It's like, why would you hire a Russian to sing for you?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm battling with that. I might do it, but at
Mm-hmm.
the moment, it didn't seem like something artistically or business wise that made a lot of sense for me. Uh,
Yeah, but it's
and
the stuff that
if I
you.
listen to the role and I haven't yet, it
Mhm.
might grab me. I
Yeah.
do think pretty highly of my vocal capabilities. So,
I'm
you
sure
know,
you do.
I don't know of any Russian basses that can out sing me in that role right now. So,
Oh, wait a minute.
but I
Oh,
mean,
I know what you mean. Somebody says Scarpia. Or
Scarpia, that's a baritone role.
no, it's not. No, it's not. It's whoever can sing the notes, and you can sing the notes. So cut it out. Olin Blitch. Yeah. Ooh,
Oh,
that.
Blitz, bro, yeah, that'd be great. I'd sing Blitz.
Ooh,
I would
that
sing Blitz.
is delicious. I
I
mean,
would
I'm
sing Blitz. I'm a
horrible.
lonely man. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Kevin Short said, "I will bet anybody 500 that he'll sing Dutchman one day and love it." Listen to
Hey,
your
Kevin's my dog. First of all, that's frat. Second of
yeah.
all, that's my big brother. Third of all, if I ever bow down vocally to anybody on earth, that's the dude.
Let me tell you something. Kevin Stewart, we were at the Met, and then we came back for the second half after the holiday, and Kevin was to sing the first couple performances, and he laid out the whole throat in a dress rehearsal, and
Not even a doubt in my mind.
we were done. We were done. I said,
Look,
well, it's over.
when I was learning Porgy, you could ask Kevin if he's online. I would be on WhatsApp. I'd be singing phrases and sending them to Kevin. Singing phrases and sending them. It wasn't no show off. It was like, is this good enough? Because I know he'll send it back and say, try it this way. And I go, ain't no way the hell I can do it like that. But I'm going to do it. Kevin is like a vocal freak of nature, So y'all, I listen to him, but if he's trying to compare my capabilities to his, bro, I can't. You sing all this stuff.
That's
So.
okay. You can come on, Kiki
He can sing
Konversations.
Albanaz, Rumpus, and the King.
Yes.
You see, you just plug him in. So
There you go. There you go.
much respect.
Morris.
Refused.
So talk about a little bit about the future of opera, like what you see and life after like COVID. Because you hear the camp of, oh, nothing's ever going to go back to normal, or nothing's ever going to be the same, or people say, well, once we get back into the theater, we can go back. So what do you think life is going to be like after COVID?
I really hope and pray it goes back to normal. Um, I've lost more money than one could ever imagine in the last 5 6 months.
Yeah, 5 or 6 months.
Uh,
How about 2 months?
it's always good.
Yeah, you've been there. You've been there.
It feel like I ain't been to work in ages, but okay, whatever. Um, I I think optimistically that things will get back to normal.
Mhm.
I'm not going to get into a whole theoretical presentation about what I think about COVID and the virus. I think that more people have been exposed to it than they really think.
Mm,
And I think that the numbers shot way up because the test became available. I'm 99.9% sure I had it. I was working with that conductor, Mirga, over in Birmingham, England, and she got sick during the rehearsal process, and she missed the dress rehearsal, and she came back, and she was all snotty, and we still hugging, and we, bumping fists and all that stuff. And then 2 weeks to the day after I got back, I was sick as a dog, couldn't sleep, couldn't breathe. But,
mm,
the Lord willing, I made it through it. I sang sick. I
yeah.
went so whatever, I'm hoping that this thing gets turned around and we all get back to work. Not because I need the bread, because we need art. The world needs us, and we need to be putting ourselves out there. I
Mhm.
miss. I'm just starting to miss leaving, going to work, but I do
Mhm.
miss being on stage. I do miss the camaraderie. I do miss the collaboration. I
Mhm.
do miss the expression. I miss making music. I miss being with. What I find fascinating about opera is you can get a guy from Georgia, a lady from Russia, a dude from Bulgaria, a lady from Canada, a conductor from Italy, a director from Germany, and we all get together in one room and we make music. That to me, that's like mind boggling, especially for a brother that like grew up in Georgia and dad pastored country churches, and so
Mhm.
I miss all that stuff. My for the immediate future, I'm hoping that we get back to normal. For the future, this stuff has been around for a long time, and I'm enjoying the fact that we're implementing different genres of music into the new form of opera
Mhm.
through these new pieces. We got brothers writing stuff. We got all types of literature coming into the fold. But I do think that there's still going to be a place for grand opera because I really love that the most,
Yeah.
and it's what I'm cut out to do vocally. I think that God put me on earth to do what I'm doing. And I think I
Mhm.
found that out. And that's a tremendous blessing when you find out what you were put on earth to do, you can actually do it and earn a living at it. So I'm hoping that we get right back on track and we can go back out and do our thing because I got so much more to say.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I know some people don't want it to go back to normal. Some people want it, they don't. I guess we should be clear about what we mean when we say go back to business as usual, or do we go back to, I mean, listen, there will be, because there's no vaccine, and there will be more smaller concerts. We can maybe go back to, leader Abends, you know what I mean, and going to all, as well as people singing at microphones. There was a whole discussion about that during Opera America conference, which is online now. You guys should check it out and go to YouTube and look up Opera America about how we get the best microphones and how we get the best recording equipment so that we can actually do it in our living rooms and not make it sound like it's in our living rooms. Which means if you are trained to sing in a house like the Met or Chicago, which is gigantic, or War Memorial, San Francisco, that's a whole other reality and a whole other way that we will be training singers coming out of university. So I think we need to really be honest about what that means.
I feel what you're saying and I get it. But for somebody like me that's old school, that was trained the traditional way, that sings with a traditional technique, that mostly has learned how to master what I do, and I can impart that knowledge on the next person, I ain't trying to learn nothing new. My hard drive is full. I want to be able to go out into a big ass spot place and
Mhm.
put the sounds out there and make them beautiful and teach somebody younger than me to how to do the same thing and how to be understandable and comprehensible and spit the vowels out and I want to do that. I don't want to go and do something else.
Mhm.
Like if I have to learn, if I got to sing in the microphones and all that stuff, I'm done. I'm doing
Absolutely.
something else. I'm
Right.
not even about. I'm not built for this singing on Zoom and all that. I'm done. Like I'm not trying to go there. So please, Lord, if you are listening to any of us, let us please get back on stage and do what we've been trained to do. You know, because in the studio, anybody can sound great.
Absolutely. And also, but I think that we need to actually really have a real conversation, because in that particular, conversation, I know Patrice Eaton was in the room, and a couple of, there weren't any singers on the panel. There was nobody really there to say, and although I was vibing with what they were saying, I got it, but like we have to be realistic about whatever the people that the new reality, at least for the next 18 months, it's gonna be a whole, it's not gonna really work for everybody. You know what I mean? And so I think within maybe through the summer and going into the fall, well, Lord knows what the fall is going to look like. The smaller cities will open up. The middle regional companies will have a season, and it will not be that way for every large company. And so,
My next big jobs are in Los Angeles. I just had a huge European concert tour that's about to cancel. I mean, it's with John Elliott Gardner. Like I'm about to go over there and just put it down. I'm singing the Beethoven Ninth and Lisa Salinas. I'm about to go, about to rock it, but
mhm,
I can't get over there 14 days before the first rehearsal because you have to be quarantined. And when I come back, I jump right into a rehearsal in LA. I can't sit for 14 days, so that may not work out for me. Hopefully, we do our thing in LA. I got 2 big contracts there. I'm trying to do that. I got a contract in Tokyo with the Symphony. I got
Mhm.
the big Houston joint going. Like, I'm trying to do my work,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it's not just about paper. It's about doing the work. I have things I want to accomplish, and I'm looking forward to it. So I hope and pray that we get something figured out where we can just get back out there and get back to normal, whatever that is. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Patrick McCoy talked about your recital being one of the most beautiful virtual presentations, and I agree with that. And I listen, go do a tour, go do a recital tour. I think you need to consider that because I think that you could do that.
I've done it before. I've done a few of them. I was an artist in resident for the Atlanta Symphony, the second only, and I did a lot of recitals here. I did the whole East Coast tour when I met Patrick McCoy back in
Mhm.
like '07, '08 at the Kennedy Center. We were doing I think Turandot or B9, and then it was the DC Academy of the Arts and Sciences or something. So
Mhm.
I do, but I'm very very blessed that I'm so busy. I have
Mhm.
no time off, so opera and symphony keep me so busy that I don't get a chance to do recital work as much as I'd like to. And to be honest with you, I like to work, but if I'm going from gig to gig to gig to gig, I'm not going to during the rehearsal process do a recital in another city.
Absolutely,
I'm
yeah.
just, it's not that I'm
Yeah.
not thriving. I have to be able to concentrate on my work where I'm at.
Mhm.
So but yeah, if things fall apart, and I have to start booking recitals, I'll do it. I'd love to. It
Yeah.
certainly some not just because it's not financial, it's because I
Mhm.
get to work on another part of my craft. I get
Yes.
another part of my voice. I get to work on another whole presentation. So that's important to me too. So
Absolutely. And that's why I love the art of recital. I do. You guys have questions? You guys have questions? I mean, come on. Y'all, I know y'all eating all of this up, but I
I'm
know
looking at stuff like my I got my oldest iPad over here, so that joint like trying to keep up.
that's okay. No.
I'll be
Yeah.
reading all the comments afterwards saying, why didn't I hear about this? Oh, Philip Boykin on here. Joanne. What's up, Joanne?
Philip Boykin. Can you come on Kiki Conversations, Philip Boykin? I've known Philip since I was 17 years old. Broadway legend. The Broadway legend. Isn't he?
Iris Fairfax. I rolled my R's back. You know what? Let me put y'all on something. People love my rolled R's. Now here's a true story. Young singers, keep game. When I was at BU, when I came into the game, I did not know how to roll my R's correctly, and I still don't. I had somebody come and work with us at BU. I don't remember who the person was, but she looked me dead in my face and said, "You're never going to have a career if you roll your R's like that." I don't know who she was, and I don't remember who she was. But okay, since I'm on here, I'll be drinking. I roll my R's. Let's say if I was singing more stupid, I don't roll them in the front. It's like more. It's a uvula trill.
Okay.
It's the
See?
back of my throat. And I've had to. People are like your voice. You get stuck in the back of your throat. You do that. I've had to teach myself how to roll them in the back and put the sound out front, and that's real.
Yes.
Instagram.
And y'all didn't even have to pay $150 for that. There you go.
There's a way to cheat. I've been trying to teach people how to do that. The
Listen,
Instagram live just died, so we're back
that's
on Facebook.
we didn't we crap we bombed that anyway. We just gonna forget about that. Devon, yes, Devon's coming on soon. Michael Solomon, since y'all are both here, can we get a quick Lamisa Miller duet? Cut it out, Michael Solomon. Cut it out.
Wait, everybody's saying put headphones on the limited feedback. It should be over now. The feedback should be gone,
Yeah,
but
we,
it's
we
been for an hour.
we're gonna forget that even happened. We're gonna have to come do that because Russell's coming back later on in the summer, so maybe you'll come back later on in the summer. Kevin Shore is gonna come on for sure. Talk about money, Leah Hawkins. Talk about money management, particularly in the beginning of your career. Ken Noda told me you bought a house with your young artist
My young artist, what?
earning.
Okay, let me keep it 100 with y'all. Ken is right, but Ken got to remember, I sold a house before I moved to New York. I owned a home before I started the Young Artist Program. I got to New York and I rented for a year or two. I think it was just a year, and then bought a condo on 145th. I got in the lottery and got in that. There was a whole story behind that, but yeah, I mean, owning property is a lot better than renting. And I had an old guy tell me one day, he says, "You got to live somewhere. You got to pay for it. You might as well own it." Because
True.
paying $2,000, $3,000 a month rent, or paying $2,000, $3,000 a month for your own,
Yeah.
by the time you pay first and last month's rent and all that, don't be afraid of the commitment because you're gonna make the payment because you have to, whether you're renting or buying. So
Right.
just buy something. I mean, it sounds simple, but that's it.
Save your money first. Save your money. Need you to
Oh well,
good.
I'll tell you. I mean, when you first come out the gate, and I got the Young Artist program, and I'm making all this cash. I ain't never made that kind of money before, and it's like rolling in. You lose your mind at first, like you ball out of control, and then you realize like, whoa, the IRS want their money. My kid got to go to college.
50% of what you make ain't yours, baby.
So I'm a cashier. I pay cash for everything. I got cars. I pay cash for. I don't like bills. I hate bills. So
Reggie asked, "What things?" And Sean, I'm going to get to your question. I'm going to get to some of those questions, and Marina as well. What things did you learn at the table that you did not learn when you were singing?
At the table?
Yes.
Meaning?
This is from Reggie.
Reggie Smith?
Yes.
What up, dog? I learned that business decisions trump artistic decisions a lot of times. And when the two go hand in hand, it's the perfect marriage. I learned that it's a big business, and I'm trying to be. I work for two companies, and they're probably all watching. I learned that it's a business, and there are a lot of things that go into play when you're picking repertoire, singers, productions, conductors, all of that. So it is not an easy job. There are a lot of hands that have to be fed, a lot of mouths that have to be fed, and a lot of hands in the pot. And I learned a long time ago that diplomacy was cutting a pie such that everybody feels like they got the biggest piece. And that's what this job is. So it's very interesting. We could talk more offline about that, but it's certainly a business, and my business skills certainly help me in this regard. So
absolutely. Body politics. Marina asked about body politics. Would be interesting to get your perspective on, particularly as a man.
what you talking about? Body politics?
Body politics.
You mean like the way you look versus the way you sing?
I don't know, Marina. Is that what you're asking? I'll wait for her to get a response.
All right. Well, in general, look, I'm of the mindset, and if I ever run an opera company, you can be sure of one thing. I don't care who's writing the checks, influencing, and telling me I need to hire this person. I'm gonna hire the best singers for the job that go together. Period. If you're orange, but you can sing the hell out of Aida, we're gonna have an orange Aida, and everybody gonna be like, that orange girl sang her ass off. That's how it should go, and that's how I think it should go. And I'm not gonna ever waver from that. So that's how I think it should be. So
absolutely.
Wait, I said orange. Not even thinking about the guy in the White House is orange. I don't like orange people. But if you green,
done. He's done. He's done. Okay, Sean, have his experiences. Your experience with racism in the business. Have you had any?
Well, the beautiful thing about racism is when you're on the receiving end of it, it's usually clandestine and you don't know what you're getting. So I can't tell you that I've not gotten a job because I was a big bald-headed black guy, because I didn't get the job. So I'm sure that someone along the way has said, you know what, I don't like that, and that's fine. I don't know about that. But as I always say, the opera world is a microcosm of the real world.
Yes.
So if something exists in the real world, it exists in the opera world. How you navigate that is very important. How you deal with it. I'm from the South. I grew up in Georgia. I've heard someone use the N-word in my face one time, and that was in New Hampshire. And the only reason I didn't knock him out was because I had 15 people keeping me from doing so. But I know it happens in Georgia. It just don't happen to mothers like me because I'm 6'3" and will knock somebody out. So along those same lines, I never see it personally in this business. But, it does make you question sometimes when you don't get certain things. It does make you question sometimes the motivation behind decisions that are being made. But, you can't wear that on your shoulder. I mean, I'm sure I've not gotten jobs in corporate America because I'm black. I'm sure lots of things that happen because of such. So I can't worry about that. You can only control what you control. And what you can control is how well you sing and how prepared you are. Everything else will sort itself out.
Absolutely. And Maestro Brandon, asked, "So why don't opera singers talk about racism?" Well, it's a complicated issue because people get offended. People get in their feelings. Even our strongest allies, our closest friends, have to learn how to move past and move through when they feel offended. So it's difficult. It's complicated. I mean, it's even complicated to talk about it on this platform,
Well,
because you wouldn't want someone to not hire me because I'm saying, hey, this is what happened to me.
but my theory is this, and I mean, me and Larry talk about this all the time. I've been me for 30 years, so I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. Okay. And if you don't want to hire me because I wear my hat backwards, or I drink brown liquor, or I might cuss, or I'm the bruz, or I only go to black parties, if you don't want to hire me for that, I don't want to work with you. Like, I'm okay with that. So
Mhm.
you are literally protecting me from being in an environment that isn't going to be conducive to my best me.
Mhm.
So yeah, those things probably do happen, and I'm happy that I don't know about it. And as a result of this, if someone doesn't want to hire me because Morris Robinson spoke about racism on Karen's show, thank you. Because if I get there, I'm probably going to do something to piss you off anyway, and we'll have a problem. So
Right, exactly. And I
yeah.
know that there are people who do talk about it. I know there are people who want to address it. And then I know there are people who are not, people of color. I know Russell, I know minority. Um People who want to have those kind of conversations, but it should not always be us having those conversations, or facilitating people on how to behave. And I think things are getting better. I think things
Laquita just summed it up. We control, like I said, control what you can control. The
yeah,
world is racism everywhere. So there it is. Who is
absolutely.
this? What Patrick say about the Armin Arbery? Can black classical musicians make a statement about such without messing up their money? Yeah, we should be able to. I'll make one now. I'll make one anytime. Like, dude got straight killed. And it was down in Georgia, and I'm from here. I got a 14-year-old son that walks his dog every day. I think about that all the time. I grew up with the Atlanta child murders. I was right in that demographic. But I don't have a problem saying, the tape says what it says. I'm the one that posted. They charge those guys not because they saw the tape. They charge those guys because we saw the tape. So, yeah, down in Brunswick, Georgia, where I've always wanted to go down there and buy a condo on the beach and stuff, I ain't really trying to fuck with that right now because I understand this is there and I ain't trying to be in that environment. But what else can you call it if you see the tape? It is what it is. Now, you don't want to hire me because I think that the boy got murdered? Please don't. Because you're not going to enjoy me being there because I'm not. It's cool. I'll sing somewhere else.
It's true.
Can't worry about that shit.
Yes. Kevin Short asked about what things did you learn at the Citadel as an athlete that you found have assisted your current career?
Well, Kevin's a all-world wrestler and has he's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. And I made the mistake of trying to wrestle him once. I'm gonna do that again. Um, Athletics, discipline. My body is my instrument.
Mhm.
Sacrifice, focus. Those things help me prepare. They help me stay in shape vocally. They help me be ready for the moment that the curtain opens and the maestro puts the downbeat. I'm ready to go out and step out on the field and play ball. The other part of it is intestinal fortitude, being strong enough and tough enough mentally to undertake the rigors of this business because it's a very tough business. There are a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of irreconcilable choices that are made sometimes, and there are a lot of things that you have to deal with mentally. That you need to be a tough person in order to do so. So my athletic background has prepared me for all of this.
Mhm.
Teamwork, working with other people, collaboration, coaching, learning from coaches, listening to what they're saying and try to take what they say and implement it. Conductors, watching them and being able to say, when the coach blows a whistle, you go here. Sometimes acting on the fly when he might take a different tempo, you need to be able to roll with it. So, the guy in front of me might move to the inside corner. I got to take another step. All those things just kind of
Mhm.
meld together and make me be more successful at what I do. So, good question, Kevin.
That is because so opera is more of a collaborative art form than it's presented to be
Oh,
because we
absolutely. It's teamwork. I wrote an article in Dallas Opera. They posted it years ago. And I said, we participate in the ultimate team sport in opera. everybody from the first oboe player to the second clarinet to the third violin to the tuba to the percussionist, the makeup artist, the person that irons our uniforms and steams them, the conductor, the director, the soprano, the bass, the tenor, the baritone, the mezzo. We all have to bring our A game to the table at one time
Yes.
in order for art to be achieved.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us are responsible, including the people that move our sets on and off, the guy that has my towel, got my water, pad my. We all are important to get the job done. So it's the most incredible collaborative teamwork effort I've ever been around, and I'm
Yeah,
happy to be a part of it. So yeah.
absolutely. Are there any other industries like sports that you would like to see collaborate with opera?
What's that?
Are there any other industries that you would like to see collaborate with opera?
Any other industries?
Yeah, Ben asked me that. What do you mean, Ben? Are
Well,
there
I
any
think I get what you're saying. I mean,
like
you know, opera is presented so much in its clandestine form. You know, we were watching opera when we were like, "Look, kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit." It was, it was subliminally planted in our brain. You know, the Bugs Bunny thing. You know, it's always it. So I think that the more of that type of thing is great. I, as far as other industries, what you talking about? Other music industries like hip hop? No. I mean, it's cool if you could get that, but no one's gonna make a living off that. You might make a nice check, but
yeah,
leave it be. We do what we do. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, we all work really hard and study really long to do what we do. Looking for the fast buck or the quick way to earn some money or the quick way to blow it up. It ain't happening like that. You know, that is not what we do. So that's
right.
just my theory. You know, if y'all got some bright ideas and gonna blow it up, blow it up. Because
Exactly.
I'm gonna see these notes, these dots on this page,
Mhm.
and make music and do my thing. You know, I'm trying to
Absolutely.
find a. So let me see what I can actually see questions. That's why you're great. Oh, thank you, dog. Rude to the bugs.
Ah.
Every bit of your strengths and what you're right. You know, you take my LB on here. What up, dog? Art. The Q showed
Oh,
up.
dear.
I got on my damn camouflage. Just ain't got no gold boots on, but I got some brown liquor.
You keep on Opera News alive, one
Come
line.
on, Opera News, get me. Y'all know y'all can. Y'all look when it's time for me to dial it back and turn it on. I mean, y'all know I can do that. I've been on USA Today, Today Show, Good Morning America. Yeah, I like LA Live, and I do all that stuff. But right now, we ain't doing that. So I'm drinking,
Doing that.
licking, talking.
Yes,
What's
thank
up?
you for coming on here. We were joking about getting endorsements the other day. How far do you think we can take this? That is classical art. Listen, it's a wide open field now. That's the thing. I was listening to a talk today.
I'll be honest with you. I've had some dreams and aspirations. I'm, I was drinking a bottle of J. Lore on Instagram the other day on some real. I was just drinking the shit like out the bottle to the head on some stupid shit. Posted it and tagged J. Lore. They responded with a line from Così fan tutte and then sent me an inbox. I'm like, y'all know Italian? So now it's like, okay, we talking.
Right.
I carry these big leather bags, saddleback leather. I used to carry them all the time. I'll tag them. They
Mhm.
started talking to me, sending me inbox. They sending me free bags.
See,
Um, I don't talk about these things because it's not really part of what I do for a living. But
right.
there have been other collaborations. That big watch I wear,
Mhm.
Curtis and Company,
Mhm.
on some whim type shit. I had that big article that the full page ad in USA Today. I just sent them a screenshot and tagged them and put it to them on Twitter. They're like,
Yeah.
"Is that our watch?" Yeah, that's our watch. They sent me two more and then
See.
start selling to me. So you can do that, but and it's cool, because they realize that you have presence in some market that they don't tap into. And
Mhm.
again, it's business. I think that it can go further. We got to find the right person that has the right look and the right everything else that
Yeah.
can take it. And remember, you got to have a product that sells first.
Yes. First. So stay in that practice room.
Stay in the practice room, and then all the rest of that stuff will sort itself
Yeah.
out. No one's coming to check out my page if I ain't seeing well. So yeah,
Exactly. Yes, Angela Brown. Have you considered what you would do if you could never sing again at the
at the
level
level.
you're currently singing?
You know, as much as I like reaching back and reaching out to young people, young singers, my next goal I think is academia. I've been establishing relationships with lots of universities. Since we've been on this break, I've already spoken to 3 different ones
Mhm.
about, done master classes or team talks or industry talks. I got the artist in residency with Harvard University. I have a
Mhm.
very strong relationship with Boston University. Um, you know, I've talked to several schools. I've had lots of schools talk to me about coming in and working with them.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not saying it's a shoe in. I'm just saying it seems like the natural next fit for me.
Mhm.
Um, I'd like to run an opera program in that regard, helping kids using my knowledge base and using my contacts to help them be the best that they can be.
Yes.
Bringing in people that can help them, give them instruction and tutelage and coachings that they wouldn't normally get at
Mhm.
USC, and say,
Yeah.
hey, I can bring this level of professionalism in and capitulate the program to a higher level. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm looking at doing. I have a lot of people talk to me now that want me to run an opera company. You should run a company. I don't know about that part. I think I feel safer in another lane, but we'll see. But
Yeah.
Angela, that's a great question because we
Yeah.
all have to think about when the downbeat happens and it's not happening anymore. What's
Yeah.
next? So
Your
I've
phone's
been trying
ringing.
to systematically align certain things so I'll have options when that day comes.
Absolutely.
I'm
Question.
coughing
Talking
now.
about fatherhood. I talked to Miles real. I just met him quickly. I know. I feel like I know you. You post him and you talk about him often. But talk about fatherhood and how it affects the career and your family. Thanks. And
Miles told you earlier today. He says, "I just find it weird that all these people know about me and I don't know them." um, it's a very challenging thing to be a parent when you're an opera singer on the road. It takes a team uh, because I'm gone all the time. Miles's mother is the best mother to possibly ever do the job. I can't do what she does, so she does it. I can't. It's he wouldn't be him if he didn't have her. But me, with technology and being an involved dad, is Kenny Kellogg does it. It's
Mhm.
about communication. It's about just being present, even when you're not present. Being present. I have
Mhm.
WhatsApp. We got video chat. We got iPhones and stuff like that. I do homework. I've been in rehearsal with people. Karen, you might have been there. I think in Michigan, I got like a math problem from him on WhatsApp, and I didn't know how to do it. But I was on the college campus. I was like, "Yo, who's good at this?" So he knows he can call me. He can get in touch with his dad, and he's going to have super dad. You got to have the answer to things. So that relationship is when he was born. I was already doing what I'm doing, so it's
Mhm.
not strange to him. His uncle Larry does what I do. He's been on stage with me. He's been in productions with me. He's been in 2 productions with me. He goes to rehearsal with me sometimes. He comes to my shows, so he kind of gets it. It's really cool, and it's very rewarding to be able to have your kid be proud of you for something. And I'm proud of him, but I think he's equally as proud of me.
Yeah.
So it's one of the most rewarding things. It's better than any check I could ever make at any gig, being a dad. So, all right, we see some of these other questions over here.
I'm not buying all that stuff y'all parents say. I'm kidding. I'm kidding people.
Hey,
Yeah.
when the music starts, okay, that's the trick. The
Yeah.
present,
Gotcha.
right, 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 right. My God, what's Patrick talking about? My God, about?
Probably about
I see
the.
a lot of people I don't know in here.
Well, that's good. Now they know you.
Oh, Russell says I'll be your artistic administrator. I can be the general director.
Exactly.
Russell,
Come on,
I
Russ.
love you. I love you, Russell. We go all the way back to both of our first years doing Treemonisha in St. Louis. I could work for you. Ain't no way in the hell you can work for me. I'm humble, and I'm not the most humble guy in the world, but I can actually get in my lane and do my job and take direction from you and do it. Ain't no way in the hell you could do it. So no,
Yeah.
you will not be my artistic administration. You will be my boss, or we will not be working together.
Russell have all turned out, honey. Everybody,
Russell,
but
Russell
no,
be telling everybody. But you know what?
everybody.
To his
Alex
credit,
Archer wants you to run a young artist program like Reggie, please. They would.
to his credit, Russell is one of the smartest opera singers in the world.
He sure is.
Not just with his singing, but his knowledge base of the business, his knowledge base of the repertoire, his knowledge base of all kinds of things. He's so smart. I wouldn't want to be his boss. Like, why would I do that? Like, this guy knows way more than I do.
Yeah.
So, and I respect that part. So, if we could work together in the administrative positions, that'd be great.
Yeah.
We both got kids to raise, so we can keep that income going for years and years and years. Something about that life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who's
Tiffany Jackson was saying, staying in the practice room doesn't always guarantee a busy career. Absolutely. Luck and who you know makes a difference as well. What other factors? Well, can you speak to? Well, I will say this. I think that it's very important for singers to become their own teachers, to become to know their voice, because when you're stuck in the middle of Germany or whatever, you're in a production, and something happens to your voice, because things happen middle of the production, middle of rehearsal, vocal injury. Oh my God, we could talk about that whole thing. So I think it's important that you have to know how to get yourself out of trouble. You have to know how to navigate your way through things, and until you get back to your base, you get back into your team of people. So while I say stay in the practice room is not just to be there. The practice room is to also learn how to get yourself and to know yourself. That's just my personal.
so I did that thing of I posted that video of me the other day singing touring dog in Detroit. Got called into it the last minute, showed up. I was nailing it, but I got to sorgy, and something got stuck. I felt mucus just pop. I wasn't hurt. It just happened. And everyone was like, how'd you recover? How'd you do that? Because I've been there before. Okay. So this is the practice room piece. And I'll go back to what you were saying also, Dr. Tiffany. But Maestro Stephen Lord said something years ago in a master class, and I posted about this. He says, professionals are not professionals because they don't get into trouble. Professionals are professionals because of how they react when they do get into trouble. So it's just what you said. You know enough about your voice, your instrument, to say, okay, I'm not feeling myself right now, but I know I can get through this because I've done it 100 times. Now, you're right, Tiffany. Being in the practice room does not guarantee you to have a career. A lot of people don't want to hear this, and I try to be very honest with people in a very kind way. We all listen to really good singing all the time, and if one is honest with themselves, they understand where they stack up in the equation versus those who are making money doing this and versus those who aren't. And if you're honest with yourself, you can practice all you want to, but you're not going to sound a certain way. Then that reality needs to say, you know what, I'm doing the best that I'm physically and gifted able to do. Maybe I can look at something else and do this type of work. I can sing this and sing this. You know, it took me a long time to realize and accept the fact that I just was not going to make it in the NFL. I was a hell of a college football player. I was all right. And no one ever lined up in front of me that I thought was a better player than me. But at some point in time, I didn't have what they needed at the next level. I wasn't big enough. I wasn't tall enough. I wasn't fast. So something didn't work out where the next guy had more physical tools than I was blessed with. It hurt, but it was just the reality. And I had to accept that. I practiced. I ran. I did all the weights. You know, I was I'm about to cuss, knocking people on their back, doing my thing. But, you know, the reality is that wasn't what I was supposed to do. And I had to accept that. And it was hard to do. So I think being honest with oneself and not, because people that are dishonest with themselves, I think, become bitter. And we have too many bitter singers, former singers that are playing henchmen at opera companies and killing people at auditions and we don't need that. You know, we're all beautiful and we're all artists and some of us make it, some of us don't make it to a certain level, but that doesn't mean you can't contribute artistically. So, you know, I never played in the NFL, but when my son starts football practice here, I bet I'll be there and I'll be able to tell him, take a good first step. I know you can go in and out when you're doing the trap block. If he lines up on your outside shoulder, take a good outside shoulder, put your hand here, put it here, and drive block. I can teach him that, and that's enough for me, you know, because, you know, no one can tell me I don't know football. I just didn't play it at that level. No one can tell a person that they don't know music, you know. So anyway, that's my little street.
Yeah, work ethic is a thing. You know, work ethic. Russell put work ethic. Ethic is a thing, and you have to be real with yourself about how much you actually put into it, how much you did the work. You learned the roles. You learned the language if that's your thing. You learned your voice. You learned your technique. You've gone in and done a certain amount of auditions. Yes, there's a lot of it that has to do with luck. Absolutely, but there's a large percentage of the hours that you spent somebody's studio or in the room by yourself, and that's all is the factor. That is a whole other factor as well. And you have, for me, I feel like whether or not you have the career, right, the career, or whether you're working to pay your bills, you have to be in a position where if you decide to teach someone, that you know exactly what it is that you're doing, that you do with your voice. It has to be enough work and enough knowledge of the art form of singing.
Mm-hmm.
You must know the art of
Yeah,
singing.
yeah. I'm looking at Jason Ferrant. He's like, I was a few feet away from Morrison that tour dog. You sang beautifully that night, by the way. He's like, I didn't realize anything was off. But, that's the thing. My focus didn't change because I'm a pro. But I'm so in tune with what I'm doing vocally. I knew that little tiny thing happened. And I knew it. And it was live. And I was like, fuck. But I just kept pushing, so I kept going through it. And, it is what it is. That's part of the practice room. That's part of the work ethic, you know. And there's another sports analogy. You can't teach someone how to run a 4-3. Either you can or you can't.
Yes.
If you want to play wide receiver in the NFL and you don't run a 4-3, chances are you ain't gonna be a wide receiver in the NFL. This dude runs a 4-3. I work harder than him. I go to practice every day. I lift weights. I follow the program, but I'm still running 4-7. You ain't gonna make it, bro. So it's a hard reality to face sometimes. I have to face certain realities. So we all do.
We all do. We all do. Y'all just keep working. We all need to keep working.
Yep.
Listen, when I sang yesterday, I was like,
my recital, I was like, I got this. I'm good. I was like, uh-oh.
It was like are easier than you're like other phrases like, oh God, that's not gonna happen.
I got halfway through and was like, oh shit, I should have sang more last week. But it's okay. But I knew what I was doing and I was able to make it right. So there you go. Absolutely. All right, what else? We got other questions? We've been on this joint for a minute.
Listen, when you come to Kiki Konversations, I told you, you're like, yo, how long is this going to be? I was like, probably an hour. I was like, but Russell and Terrence did more. And
how long we been on now? We've been on an hour and a half already. I'm still drinking liquor, so
listen,
it's gonna get better.
But yeah, some people do want to jump off. But anyway, I just want to thank you for being so open and being so, willing to come on and talk and share. I know that you've done a lot of interviews, you do a lot of, press and all that kind of stuff. Your work, you've done a lot of things for various companies. And, it's important for us to speak to each other. Oh, Hennessy, can you get that out of the screen?
Oh, is that the screen? My bad. Yes. I'm about to give me a watch. I'm gonna get a Hennessy commercial on this joint. After seeing that great brown liquor. It clears the phlegm out my throat. What's up, Hen? Y'all your boy.
Yes, that's how I be doing. Listen, I get somebody from Hennessy, get some endorsements.
The crazy part is, I'm not even that ghetto. I just be tripping. I ain't I went to the Citadel. I went to high school in Buckhead, but it's a good act.
That's the thing about I think and that's anybody. It doesn't have anything to do with race. Like when you come from this class of opera, you don't grow up with it, and you're bringing all your experiences and all of your culture to it. It's like you always have to learn how to be one way, and then you be another way, and your professional, your hats and all your masks and all of that.
Correct.
But it's when we come together, and I'm actually next week or the week after next, I'm having a talk. Kevin Short and Kenny are joining me on a talk about the relationship that Black artists have and the history of kind of like us in the industry. And I'm so excited to have that conversation coming up. But is there anything else you wanna talk about?
Yeah. I'm just reading some of these questions, and I'm getting some pushback over here from Maynard Holcomb saying, I totally understand being honest with yourself. However, there's some people that weren't, where is it? It just is that weren't that great in college and they have major careers. Well, I mean, and that's, if you talking about sports again, bro, we talking about like a dude that was averaged 5 points in college, he comes to the NFL and becomes a scorer. Well, maybe he was in the system that held him back. Maybe he got into an offense that allowed him to score. You also got guys that was averaging 25 points a game in college, Dennis Rodman, that only got rebounds in the NBA. So, it all comes down to a system and what's needed. Do they need your voice type? Do they need what you do on the operatic stage? And again, it's not all fair game sometimes. But, yeah, you got to – I think being honest with yourself is the most important thing. So I'll leave it at that. Anybody else got any other questions they want to ask me? Because I'm about to I guess we got to wrap it up. We got to wrap it up.
Well, I mean, if it's up to you, but she has to use the rest.
Who has to use the? Y'all see the R?
I roll my R.
You roll yours in the front.
Yeah.
For real?
In the middle.
Yeah, my joint like so.
I don't know. You got to teach me that. Teach me that.
Karen, no, we're not doing that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just.
I know. All right, people are laughing up. People are cracking up. There's
Yes.
a book and album. I drink all the brown. Y'all just being off the chain tonight, aren't you? Y'all ain't got no screen. Afton Dark Liquor. Yo, Afton. That's my girl. She put together my joints so nicely, bro. I
Yeah.
was my CV, because like I told y'all, Angela Brown asked a question. I started putting together my paperwork a minute ago, and I just like one, and she took care of her brother for real. It was nice. What she did was major. So it's amazing. I can just click my mouse and send it off, and people are like, "Yo, who did this?" So I appreciate you. Much love to you.
And we love you, Afton.
Y'all,
You should be running a company. Hello.
he should be running a company. You're right.
Be running a
And
company.
then Russell can work for her, and she could deal with his ass. I ain't doing it.
Yeah, love you, Susan Ashbaker. Yes, Ronita.
Susan Ashbaker, she hired me for that Nabucco that you saw in Philly.
Wow. Susan has been a tremendous support. And
Deidre Robinson, is there going to be a book or album coming out one day? Possibly a book. I've been approached by that a few times. Albums don't sell anymore, so I don't know.
Get them
I don't know.
MP3s.
Y'all can get some MP3s or some YouTube videos. Just now. Look, you can click on Instagram and get some free Morris Robinson singing. Shit.
Okay. Ben, I love you too. Yes, Afton. We all love Afton. Denise Young Smith, amazing. She's a soprano and a tech, a fierce tech, the fiercest black woman in tech, honey.
Hey, Taiwan, I see you talking about you gonna send Afton your stuff. Send her some checks too, though, bro. It ain't free. Pay the woman. She does her work. Pay her. You feel what I'm saying?
Coin.
Ain't nothing free.
Yes.
All right, what was we got? Come on, LaBelle. Anybody else got any questions for me? Most of you guys on here now are just people I know.
I know.
Oh, Denise Young Smith. I met you through Instagram, but I know. But hi, how you doing, sweet? Nice to see you on here. I think you know Karen. Yes, she was at the CDO or something at Microsoft or something like that.
Apple, honey, Apple.
Apple, yeah.
Yes, fat. Anyway, all right. It looks like all of our friends, and we could just keep talking. But
I mean, if y'all want to talk, I got another glass of liquor. This going. Yeah.
What is my cocktail tonight? Tim, my cocktail tonight was, and Andrea Jones will be, and Kenny and Angela Brown will be proud of me. It was alkaline, but it had vodka in it. It has strawberry lime, spring water, agave with lots of vodka.
That don't sound too fancy. My phone did now.
Yeah, so it was like mostly alkaline with vodka. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it, babe.
Tomorrow it's a pandemic. She still got to eat, bro. What you talking about, big lady?
Listen, I went to go put on that gown yesterday, and it was a little bit tight around the back there. I said, "Okay, girl, get it together, get it together."
Hey, I was on it for a minute. I was doing my walk every day because I was like, I am not going to get any bigger on this pandemic. So I was doing like my 3-mile walk every day and trying to do no carbs, and then I fell off. But I'm about to get back on it because I want to be on the other end, not this end. So
right? No pandemic pounds.
No pandemic pounds. Yeah, I got the pandemic beard. That joint is off the chain nasty right now. It's just long and grizzly bearish.
Well, it's not safe to walk the streets yet. So.
Right, I can't go to the barber, so I'm just chilling.
Yeah. Oh, Bradley, too many ingredients. Hush. Next week.
Hey.
So next week I'll have a different
straight liquor. Straight.
Yes.
Brown liquor.
Oh my God.
Now wait. Let me do a little advertising. You can't just go to the store and get this bottle of Hennessy right here.
Uh-oh.
This is that James Hennessy. You got to know people and go special places to get this.
You are so crazy.
Y'all can try to Google it if you want to, but you ain't gonna find it.
Wow. You see, big time. Now he's big timing on us now.
Hey,
Anyway. Cool. All right, I'm out of here. She has to.
Restyles in sweatpants, right.
You need to do a live now, after our show.
Who, me?
Uh-huh.
Why? I'm on your show. That's enough.
Oh, Al.
Andrea,
Yes.
what's up? I remember you. I mean, we only met like a couple of times. That was back at my apartment when Larry was there, because Larry knows everybody, and he was bringing everybody to my apartment. I was a young artist. Cash, shut up. Joanne, I see you on there. Hi.
Hey,
Kim
Joanne.
Jones, that Hennessy look good. Kim doesn't even like she drinks.
Joanne?
No, Joanne drinks. I said Kim
Oh,
Jones doesn't like she
good.
drinks. Kevin
So next
Miller,
we have to come back because it's gonna be really good next week too.
who you got next week?
I can't tell you yet. We don't do our
Wow.
soon. Hey, Kevin Miller.
Wait, who's wondering why I'm clearing my throat? Because this stuff loosens up my phlegm. Shit.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Yes, Simone. Thank you for coming, Simone. That was great. Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Glad
you.
you enjoyed it.
I'm glad you came. Come on, Vince Wallace. Hey, Vince.
Oh,
Fancy.
Vince is on there?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Miller there, Joanne Jeanette,
Yes. So you got to come.
Camille Humes. Camille and I sing together at La Scala.
See, I know y'all were fancy. Y'all were too much for me.
Patrick McCoy, that's my dog.
Yes.
Good people.
Good people. So you have to come back to Kiki Conversations later in the summer.
Okay, we'll do. We'll do.
Okay.
All right. Bye, everybody. Talk
Bye,
to
you
y'all later.
guys. Thank
Peace.
you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye
How
bye.
about Exodus? You gonna do it?
I'll stop it.